Like Charles and Dee's wedding, and Torval and Dean's Olympic gold, Bucks Fizz cheekily whipping their skirts off at Eurovision became one of the defining moments of the 1980s. Almost 40 years have passed since the band sang Making Your Mind Up that night. And, boy, has lot happened since. People don't remember the song, they just remember the skirts coming off. Chuckles Mike Nolan, 65, who's now reunited with Cheryl Baker, 65, and Jay Aston, 59, to form new band The Fizz. Times were more innocent then, adds Cheryl. Jay wanted to wear mini skirt, wanted longer one to cover my chunky thighs. So we flippantly said, let's have both. It was lightbulb moment that won us Eurovision and gave us our careers. While the band has had several incarnations, not to mention legal disputes and fallouts, this trio all featured in the original Bucks Fizz. The fourth member, Bobby G, has now gone his own way. He did some gigs with us in 2004 but it was obvious he wasn't comfortable, explains Cheryl. Now, with us three, would say it's the best line-up we've ever had. Lounging on sofas over tea at London Hotel, the band are in good spirits promoting new album, Smoke, Mirrors. All three singers are Kent-based. Cheryl and Jay live in villages with their families, while Bachelor Mike moved out of central London for financial reasons. They are clearly all genuine pals, finishing each other's sentences, bigging each other up, and playfully poking fun. Joker Mike, still with his trademark blonde hair, plays the fool. Chatty Cheryl as the mummy who keeps Mike in check, while Slender Jay, in charge of the band's costumes, is serious. It's been grueling 2 years for Jay, who was diagnosed with mouth cancer in May 2018. The biopsy came back with bad news on the first day we began recording the new album, she grimly recalls. We had festivals lined up that summer and foolishly thought of delaying the op, but if had waited, wouldn't be sitting here now. Over 2 major operations, the singer had part of her tongue, some teeth and lymph nodes removed. Under the tight leather brown trousers she's wearing today, Jay shows a sizable dip in her thigh where surgeons took major nerve to reconstruct her tongue. She has slightly detectable lisp. I was worried about my voice. Would be able to speak or sing again, admits Jay, who's wed to guitarist Dave Calhoun and mum to Josie, 16. One ballad on the album, From Here to Eternity, is particularly emotional for her. It's very personal. It's about mother singing to her daughter about life, threatening disease. When we listened back to it we all cried. It was so close to the bone. Jay is now cancer-free. But her experience is not the first time the band have stared death in the face. Back in December 1984, at the height of their fame, Bucks Fizz's tour bus crashed into lorry, injuring all 4 members. Mike was so badly hurt he fell into coma and was read the last rites. I remember seeing Cheryl lying in hospital with all this oil and glass in her hair, and having the worst headache imaginable, says Mike. Then slipped into coma for 6 weeks. Don't remember anything about it, but died and they revived me. It means I'm not scared of dying now. I've seen there is nothing to fear. As result of the accident, Mike will be on epilepsy pills for life. Cheryl pats him affectionately. It took a while to get his medication right. He was very low, but now he's back to his irritating self. While mum, of twins Cheryl and Jay are both very family-orientated, Mike has never married and lives alone, insisting, my private life is private. I'm very set in my ways. Have ACD. At which point both his bandmates burst out laughing. ACD. Cries Cheryl. He means OCD. Am adding that into my file of Mike-isms. He does make us laugh. Actually, I'm quite embarrassed about it. Objects Mike. I can't sit down to eat until the washing up is done. Even if it means my dinner goes cold. Arrange all my cups with the spoons standing up in them. And always dry the sink with cloth. Could never have cleaner. Have to do it myself. I've always been like that. Do you see why he lives by himself? Laughs Jay. Who would put up with him? The band remember their heyday fondly. After Eurovision glory, they topped the charts with The Land of Make-Believe, Then My Camera Never Lies. Everywhere we went, people served us Bucks Fizz. grins Cheryl. Mike and worked our way through an entire cocktail menu once in Germany. We were so ill. Loved all the screaming fans. Remember one girl saw me sneeze and asked if she could have my tissue. Mike should have sold off his underwear. Giggles Jay. He was the real pin up, agrees Cheryl. He was gorgeous. And my secret love. Had the hots for him for many years. It was totally unrequited though. These days he's just like my younger brother and look out for him because he's loose cannon. But we've experienced all sides of fame, adds Mike. There are peaks and troughs when you've been around as long as us. Jay was the first to leave Bucks Fizz in 1985, suffering post-crash trauma and following an affair with the husband of the band's original creator. Jay was still under contract at the time and the group's management company took her to court. They told me if left they would blacken my name in the business and would never work again, says Jay, still bitter. They did good job because was immersed in over dozen lawsuits, which was lot for 23-year-old to deal with, when was trying to recover from major coach crash. Later, Mike too endured stressful legal strife, and similarly lost lot of money in his home, after unwisely joining forces with dollar singer David Van Day in 1997 in one of the Bucks Fizz reincarnations. There was legal dispute over names and cash and Mike took him to court. Although Mike won, Van Day declared himself bankrupt and Mike was forced to sell his home to pay for the court costs. The biggest regret in my life was working with that man, says Mike, darkly. There were also hard times when the band realized their popularity had waned. Before left Bucks Fizz in 1993 we were doing gala bingo halls, says Cheryl. Bingo. Felt like, is this all we are worth? People couldn't care less. It was soul-destroying. Happily, after the year 2000, the 1980s revival reignited the nation's appetite for bubbly bands like Bucks Fizz. But as recently as 2016 Cheryl took on admin work to make ends meet. My daughters were so proud of me for doing that, says Cheryl, of her twins Kyla and Natalie, 25. I've no airs and graces. Grew up on Bethnal Green Council Estate. Outside of work everyone calls me by my real name, Rita Stroud. That's me. I've still got bills to pay and my husband is poor musician. Steve and have just celebrated our 28th wedding anniversary. Cheryl says she's the band's optimist. My cup isn't just full, it's overflowing. Tell the others, if life seems gray, remember blue skies are coming. Now, we're doing fantastic gigs. Our outfits are bigger. Was tiny back then because they put me on slimming pills. And don't like to dress too saucily in my 60s. But our dance routines are the same. We haven't slowed down. My daughters sometimes join us as backing singers. It's real family affair, our band. And, like family, we're all there for each other.